Have you ever stood at a crossroads in life, feeling your body isn't as strong as it once was, your home suddenly too big, too empty, and wondered, what happens next? Society might tell you the answer is simple. When you can't fully care for yourself, it's time to leave behind everything familiar and move into a nursing home. But is that your only choice? In this video, we're diving into the truth about nursing homes, the emotional and hidden costs of leaving your home, and the power of aging in place. Keep watching until the end, because the decisions you make about your future deserve more than a quick fix, and by the end, you'll discover options that could change how you live your golden years. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video, you can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Number 1. The reality of nursing homes. When you think of a nursing home, the glossy brochures and warm assurances from staff might paint a picture of safety, attentive care, and a dignified life for your later years. They promise a place where your needs will be met with compassion and professionalism. But the reality behind those promises often tells a far less comforting story. Nursing homes, at their core, are businesses. Businesses that must balance budgets, manage staffing, and maximize efficiency. Too often, this means that care, the very thing they're supposed to prioritize, takes a backseat to operational demands. One of the most pervasive issues is understaffing. A single caregiver might be responsible for 10, 15, or even 20 residents during a shift, each with their own complex medical needs, emotional struggles, and daily requirements. It's not that the caregivers don't want to help. Many are compassionate individuals stretched to their breaking point. But when one person is juggling so many responsibilities, neglect becomes inevitable. Not out of malice, but out of sheer impossibility. Medications might be delayed, a call for help might go unanswered for hours, and personal care like bathing or repositioning might be rushed or skipped altogether. The result? Residents can spend long periods alone, their physical discomfort ignored, their emotional needs unmet. Imagine lying in bed, waiting for someone to help you to the bathroom or bring you a glass of water, only to realize no one's coming. Not because they don't care, but because they simply don't have the time. Then there's the loss of autonomy, which cuts even deeper. Nursing homes run on rigid schedules designed to keep the facility functioning smoothly. You eat when the dining hall serves breakfast at 7:30 a.m., whether you're hungry or not. You bathe when an aide has an open slot, even if you'd rather wait until afternoon. You take your pills when the medication cart rolls by, and you sleep, or at least try to, when the lights go out, regardless of whether you're an early bird or a night owl. The life you once lived, where you decided what to cook for dinner or lingered over a cup of coffee on your porch, vanishes. In its place is a regimented existence where your preferences and habits are secondary to the institution's routine. For many, it feels less like care and more like confinement, a slow erasure of the person they used to be. And then there's the loneliness, perhaps the cruelest part of all. When you first move in, you might have visitors, family stopping by with flowers, friends promising to check in. But as time passes, those visits often dwindle. Children get caught up in their own lives, work, school runs, bills. Grandkids grow into teenagers with packed schedules. Old friends, if they're still around, might struggle with their health or mobility. Soon, the bustling chatter of a life surrounded by loved ones fades into silence. Days blur together, marked only by the hum of a TV in the common room or the occasional shuffle of a nurse's footsteps. Studies have shown that social isolation in nursing homes is a silent epidemic, linked to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even physical decline. So before you sign that contract or pack that suitcase, pause and ask yourself, is this truly how I want to spend my final chapter? Is this the legacy of care I envision for myself or my loved ones? If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 2. The emotional toll of leaving your home. Your home is far more than a physical structure with a roof and walls. It's a living archive of your life. It's the kitchen where you perfected your grandmother's spaghetti sauce, The backyard where your kids took their first steps, the living room where you toasted anniversaries and mourned losses. Every scratch on the floor, every faded patch of paint, every creak in the stairs tells a story of who you are and what you've lived through. So when the time comes to leave it behind, whether by choice or necessity, it's not just a move. It's a seismic shift, an emotional and psychological upheaval that reverberates long after the last box is unpacked. The act of leaving can feel like a betrayal of everything you've built. You might walk through those rooms one last time, memories flooding back, laughter from a holiday dinner, the quiet nights spent reading by the fireplace, the way sunlight streamed through the window just so. Packing up isn't just about sorting possessions. It's about deciding which pieces of your past you can carry forward and which you must leave behind. That worn armchair where you rocked your babies to sleep? Too big for the new place. The garden you tended for decades? It'll belong to someone else now. Each choice chips away at your sense of control, your sense of self. Research backs up what many seniors already know instinctively. Uprooting from a familiar environment takes a heavy toll. Studies have found that older adults who leave their homes prematurely, before they're emotionally or practically ready, face heightened risks of mental health challenges. Depression can settle in as they mourn the loss of independence and routine. Anxiety might spike as they grapple with an unfamiliar setting, surrounded by strangers instead of neighbors they've known for years. Even cognitive decline can accelerate. The brain, robbed of its familiar landmarks and rhythms, struggles to adapt. One study from the Journal of Gerontology noted that seniors relocated to care facilities showed measurable drops in memory and problem-solving skills within months, simply because their world had been turned upside down. It's not just the loss of the house itself, it's the loss of identity tied to it. Your home is where you were the decision-maker, the host, the keeper of traditions. In a new place, especially a nursing home or assisted living facility, that role often slips away. You're no longer the one setting the table or choosing the music. You're a resident, a number on a chart. For many, this shift feels like the closing of a chapter they weren't ready to end, a story interrupted mid-sentence. So if you're facing this crossroads, take a moment to weigh not just the practicalities but the emotional cost. Could staying home longer, with support, preserve more than just your address? Could it preserve you? Number 3. The hidden health risks of nursing homes. It's a bitter irony that many people choose nursing homes with the expectation of receiving superior health care and support in their later years, only to discover that these facilities can, in some cases, hasten their decline. Research has increasingly pointed to a troubling reality. Living in a nursing home can shorten your lifespan. But why does this happen? The reasons are multifaceted, rooted in both the environment of care facilities and the fundamental changes they impose on residents' lives. One major factor is the loss of autonomy and activity. When seniors move into nursing homes, they often leave behind the daily tasks that, while sometimes burdensome, keep them physically and mentally engaged. Cooking a simple meal, tidying up the house, or stepping outside to tend to a garden. These routines provide exercise, purpose, and stimulation. In a nursing home, however, these activities are typically replaced by a more sedentary lifestyle, with staff taking over responsibilities that residents once handled themselves. Studies have shown that this reduction in physical activity can lead to muscle atrophy, weakened immunity, and a faster deterioration of cognitive function. For example, a 2018 study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors who transitioned to institutional care exhibited a marked decline in mobility and mental sharpness within just 6 months, compared to those who remained at home with support. Then there's the issue of infections, a pervasive and often under-discussed risk in nursing homes. These facilities, by their very nature, house large groups of vulnerable people in close quarters, creating ideal conditions for the spread of illness. Pneumonia, one of the leading causes of death among the elderly, thrives in such environments, particularly when residents have weakened respiratory systems or limited mobility. Urinary tract infections, UTIs, are another common scourge, often exacerbated by inadequate hydration or inconsistent personal care. In more severe cases, these infections can spiral into sepsis, a life-threatening condition where the body's response to infection triggers widespread inflammation and organ failure. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has reported that nursing home residents are at significantly higher risk for hospital-acquired infections than their peers living independently. Add to this the periodic outbreaks of viruses like influenza or even MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, and it becomes clear that nursing homes can sometimes function as unintended breeding grounds for disease. Beyond the physical toll, there's a psychological dimension to consider. The transition to a nursing home often severs ties to familiar surroundings, personal belongings, and community networks, leading to feelings of isolation and depression. This emotional strain can weaken the body's resilience, making residents more susceptible to illness. For someone who is still capable of living at home, even if it requires some effort or assistance, the data suggests that staying put is often the safer, healthier option. Nursing homes may promise care, but they can inadvertently deliver decline. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 4, the alternative. Aging in place with smart planning. If nursing homes carry such risks, what's the better path forward? The answer lies in a growing movement known as aging in place. Remaining in your own home as you grow older, supported by thoughtful adaptations and resources. This approach isn't about stubbornly clinging to independence without help. Rather, it's about creating a sustainable, safe, and fulfilling environment tailored to your needs. With the right planning, aging in place can preserve both your health and your quality of life far more effectively than institutional care. The foundation of aging in place is making your home a safer space. Small, practical modifications can make a world of difference. Installing grab bars in the bathroom, for instance, reduces the risk of falls, a leading cause of injury among seniors. Widening doorways to accommodate walkers or wheelchairs, improving lighting to prevent trips, or adding a stair lift can transform a familiar house into a fortress of accessibility. Technology plays a key role here too. Medical alert systems, like wearable devices that summon help with the press of a button, provide peace of mind for both seniors and their families. Smart home devices, think voice-activated assistants or motion sensor lighting, can further simplify daily life, reducing strain and enhancing safety. But aging in place isn't just about physical adjustments. It's about building a support network. Hiring part-time assistants, such as a caregiver who visits a few hours a day or week, can handle tasks like meal preparation, medication management, or light housekeeping without stripping away your autonomy. For those who need more help, home health aides can provide medical support, such as wound care or physical therapy, right in the comfort of your living room. Beyond professional help, staying connected to others is critical. Friends and family can offer companionship, whether through regular visits, phone calls, or shared activities like a weekly card game. Community programs, such as senior centers or volunteer organizations, can also step in, providing social outlets and even practical aid like transportation to appointments. The benefits of this approach are backed by evidence. A 2020 report from AARP found that seniors who aged in place with adequate support reported higher levels of satisfaction, lower rates of depression, and better overall health outcomes compared to those in nursing homes. Financially, it can also be more affordable. Retrofitting a home and hiring part-time help often costs less than the average $4,000 to $8,000 monthly price tag of a care facility. Aging in place isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It requires planning, resources, and sometimes compromise. But for many, it's a way to retain control, preserve dignity, and live longer, healthier lives surrounded by the familiar walls they've always called home. Number 5. The power of staying in control of your life. Every single day we open our eyes is a precious gift, a chance to live, to love, and to shape our destinies. As we age, this gift doesn't diminish, it evolves. Growing older should never mean relinquishing the fundamental right to wake up each morning feeling safe, cherished, and firmly in command of your existence. Too often, society paints aging as a slow descent into dependence, a narrative that strips away dignity and agency. But aging is not synonymous with surrender. It's an opportunity to redefine what independence looks like for you. Before you even entertain the idea of moving into a nursing home, pause and consider the full spectrum of possibilities available to you. Building a robust support system is key. This could mean leaning on family, close friends, or even a tight-knit community of neighbors who check in regularly. Think about practical modifications to your home, installing grab bars in the bathroom, adding a stair lift, or rearranging furniture to reduce hazards. These small changes can extend your ability to live comfortably and safely in your own space for years. Home care services are another powerful option, Whether it's a nurse visiting a few times a week or a caregiver assisting with daily tasks like cooking or bathing, these services can be tailored to your exact needs without uprooting your life. The most critical piece of advice? Never, under any circumstances, rush into a decision that strips away your freedom. A hasty choice, perhaps made in the wake of a health scare or under pressure from well-meaning but uninformed loved ones, can lock you into a situation that feels more like a cage than a home. Take the time to weigh your options, consult with experts, and listen to your instincts. Your independence is a treasure worth fighting for, and with the right planning, you can maintain it far longer than you might think. Aging doesn't have to mean losing control. It can mean mastering it in a new way. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 6. Financial burden. The hidden costs of nursing homes. If you've ever assumed that nursing homes are simply about providing care and comfort, it's time to peel back the curtain and face the stark reality. The financial toll they exact is staggering, often far beyond what most people anticipate. One of the most compelling reasons to avoid rushing into a nursing home is the crushing economic burden it imposes, not just on you, but on your entire family. Let's break it down with some hard numbers. Depending on where you live, the cost of a nursing home can range from $4,000 to a jaw-dropping $12,000 per month for basic care alone. That's $48,000 to $144,000 a year, and that's before you factor in extras like medication management, physical therapy, or specialized treatment for conditions like dementia or Parkinson's, which can easily push the monthly bill into the tens of thousands. Now, let's put this into a longer-term perspective. Imagine you or a loved one spends 5 to 10 years in a nursing home, a realistic time frame for many. At the low end, you're looking at $240,000 to $480,000. At the high end, you could be staring down a tab of $720,000 to $1.44 million. And what do you get for that astronomical sum? Often, it's a cramped room with thin walls, a shared bathroom down a sterile hallway, and a rotating cast of overworked staff who may not have the time or resources to offer the personalized attention you deserve. It's a sobering thought. Hundreds of thousands of dollars spent not on luxury or even true peace of mind, but on a bare minimum existence. Here's the kicker. Many people assume their lifelong contributions to retirement funds, pensions, or government programs like Medicare or Medicaid will cover these costs. The truth is far less reassuring. In the United States, for example, Medicare only covers short-term stays, typically up to 100 days, after a qualifying hospital event, and even then, it's not free. Medicaid might step in for those with limited assets, but qualifying often requires spending down your savings, selling your home, or liquidating investments, essentially forcing you into poverty to access help. Private insurance? It's a gamble. Policies vary widely, and many don't cover long-term care comprehensively. As a result, countless families find themselves draining bank accounts, selling cherished properties, or taking on crippling debt just to keep up with the bills. Now, contrast that with the alternatives. What if, instead of pouring your life savings into a facility, you invested a fraction of that money into making your home safer? Perhaps $5,000 for renovations like a walk-in shower or a ramp. What if you hired a part-time caregiver for $20 an hour, a few hours a week, totaling $5,000 to $10,000 a year? Or consider a more personal option. Moving in with a family member who genuinely cares about your well-being, splitting costs or sharing responsibilities in a way that preserves both your dignity and your finances. These alternatives aren't just cheaper, they're richer in the things that matter. Familiarity, autonomy, and connection. The harsh reality is that most people don't end up in nursing homes because they've run out of viable options. They end up there because they've never been shown the alternatives. Misinformation, lack of planning, or a cultural assumption that nursing homes are the default solution can trap people into a financially ruinous decision. Knowledge is power here. Research local resources, consult financial advisors, explore home care grants or community programs. The money you save could be the difference between a life of constraint and a life of choice. Nursing homes might seem like a safety net, but for many, they're a hidden sinkhole, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 7. The psychological impact. The transition into a nursing home often marks more than an address change. It can signal the unraveling of something deeply human, a sense of purpose and identity. There's a well-documented phenomenon, supported by both observation and research, where many seniors experience a rapid decline after entering such facilities, and it's not solely a matter of physical frailty. It's about the erosion of meaning in their lives. Consider what it means to live in your own home, even in your later years. You wake up each morning with a quiet rhythm of responsibilities that, while perhaps small, are profoundly yours. You decide what to eat. Maybe it's a simple bowl of oatmeal with a sprinkle of cinnamon, or a cup of tea brewed just the way you like it. You tend to your plants, watching their leaves unfurl with a sense of pride, or you feed your pet, feeling the warmth of its companionship. Perhaps you pick up a hobby, knitting a scarf, flipping through an old photo album, or tinkering with something in the garage. These aren't just tasks. They're threads in the fabric of your day, keeping your mind sharp, your heart engaged, and your spirit vibrant. Now imagine that autonomy stripped away. In a nursing home, those small but vital choices often vanish, replaced by a regimented existence that can feel more like a conveyor belt than a life. Meals arrive on trays at predetermined times, someone else's menu, someone else's schedule. You don't stir the soup or season it to taste. It's simply placed before you, uniform and impersonal. Activities, if they exist, are pre-planned. Bingo at 2 p.m., a sing-along at 4, leaving little room for spontaneity or personal passion. Your space, once a reflection of your personality with its familiar creaks and cherished clutter, becomes a sterile room governed by someone else's rules. Lights out at 9, no candles allowed, walls bare except for what's permitted. The loss of control seeps into every corner of your existence, and with it, a creeping sense of irrelevance can take hold. For many residents, the most devastating blow isn't the physical confinement but the psychological one. The feeling that they've become a burden, a name on a chart, someone merely waiting for time to tick by rather than actively living it. Contrast that with the choice to remain in your own home. It's not just about staying surrounded by familiar walls or sleeping in your bed, though those comforts matter immensely. It's about holding on to something far more precious, your identity. Even if age slows your steps or dims your eyesight, even if you need a caregiver to assist with the heavier tasks, you remain the author of your story. You decide when to turn on the radio, what flowers to plant in the garden, or whether to spend an afternoon lost in a book. Those decisions, however modest they may seem, are assertions of self, a declaration that you are still here, still you. And as long as you cling to that agency, the specter of feeling old loses its power. Aging, in this light, isn't a descent into helplessness. It's a testament to resilience, a chance to redefine what matters most. A new chapter, not an epilogue. Aging is not the end of choice. It's the opening of a new chapter, one where the decisions you make carry a weight and significance they never had before. Each choice becomes a quiet rebellion against the narrative that growing older means surrendering control. Yet society often pushes a different story, one that whispers, or sometimes shouts, that once you cross an arbitrary threshold of years, independence must be traded for safety, individuality for convenience. You're told that a nursing home is the responsible option, the place where you'll be cared for, where risks are minimized. But at what cost? The familiar hum of your own home, the freedom to structure your days, the dignity of living on your terms, these are not trivial losses. They're the essence of what it means to be human. The truth is, you have a choice, and it's one worth defending. You don't have to rush into a nursing home simply because it's the path others expect you to take. You don't have to exchange the comfort of the known for the confinement of the prescribed. You deserve more than mere survival. You deserve to thrive. Yes, aging brings its trials. There will be mornings when your joints ache, afternoons when fatigue settles in, moments when tasks that once felt effortless now require a helping hand. But needing assistance doesn't mean relinquishing your voice. It doesn't mean handing over your future to a system that, despite its intentions, may prioritize efficiency over empathy, protocol over personhood. A caregiver can lift the groceries, a nurse can check your vitals, but only you can decide what makes your life worth living. This is the heart of it. Staying in your home isn't just about physical space, it's about preserving the psychological and emotional core of who you are. It's about choosing a life that reflects your values, your history, your spirit. The stakes of that choice grow higher with each passing year, not lower. Aging doesn't diminish your right to self-determination. It amplifies its importance. So when the world tries to convince you that your story is winding down, that it's time to step aside and let others take the reins, push back. This chapter is yours to write, and it can be as rich, as bold, and as meaningful as any that came before. As we wrap up, I want you to take a moment and reflect. What have you learned so far about aging, independence, and the choices ahead? Maybe it's the hidden realities of nursing homes, the emotional weight of leaving your home, or the power of aging in place with the right support. I'd love to hear from you. Please comment below with one thing you've learned today that you'll bring into practice in your own life. Your story could inspire someone else facing these same decisions. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insights on living your best life, no matter your age. Your future is still yours to shape. Let's keep the conversation going.